Good morning, everyone. Today we will discuss our research titled Principal Attitude and its Impact on the Student Budgeting Practice. Let's start with the chapter 1, the introductions. Entering university is more than just an academic road. It is often the first time a student has full autonomy over their wallets. Students manage money from various sources like PTPTN loans or part-time jobs. However, we have found that having money isn't enough. The way a student manage it depends heavily on their financial attitude, how they feel and think about money. In the world of rising costs and social media driven consumerism, staying on a budget is harder than ever. This brings us to our problem statement. We see a recurring issues. That students know they should budget, but many don't actually do it, leading to debt. Past research has mostly focused on financial literacy, teaching students how to count. We believe the missing link is attitude. We want to find out why students who know better don't always do better. Our research seeks to answer several key questions. We are looking at how social pressures from friends and family, now as a subjective norms, dictates spending. Most importantly, we are examining the principal attitude, that internal sense of accountability and disciplines. Our ultimate goal is to move beyond theories and provide practical recommendations for financial literacy programs.
Hello. To begin my part on the literature review, the primary goal here is to build a strong theoretical foundation for our research. We examine existing studies to understand how various psychological and social factors influence student budgeting. Our review focuses on five main pillars: financial attitude, subjective norms, knowledge, literacy, and what we define as principal attitude. By looking at this, we were able to pinpoint specific gaps in current research, especially regarding how these factors uniquely interact with Malaysian university. First, let's look at financial attitude. This isn't just about what students know, but what they believe about money. Studies show that traits like frugality and self-control are direct predictor of good budgeting. On the flip side, students prone to impulsive spending often face significant financial stress. Moving to subjective norms, this is the social side of money. We found that students are much more likely to stick to a budget if they feel their parents, friends, or lecturers expect them to or support that behavior. Essentially, social exception acts as a powerful motivator for financial discipline. Now, regarding knowledge and literacy, while having financial knowledge gives students the tools to manage money, it's not enough on its own. Some students know how to budget but lack of discipline to do it. This is where financial literacy and principal attitude come in. In our study, we adapted the term principal attitude to describe a student's sense of personal accountability. Students with a high internal control are the ones who stay honest about their overspending and prioritize long-term stability over short-term gratification. To wrap up the literature review, existing research tells us what while knowledge provides the skill, it is the attitude and social norms that actually move a student to act. While there is plenty of research on financial literacy globally, we found very few studies that look at how these psychological factors work together, especially for Malaysian students. Our research aimed to fill this exact gap by investigating how these internal and external drivers influence real-world budgeting behavior in our local context.
Okay, next chapter 3. Discuss the research methodology used in this study. The study used a quantitative and descriptive research designed to examine the relationship between financial attitude and budgeting practices among university students in Malaysia. Data was collected using an online questionnaire distributed through Google Form, targeting students who actively use budgeting practices. A minimum sample of 250 students was obtained using convenient sampling. Financial attitude and budgeting practices were measured using a 5-point Likert scale, and the collected data was analyzed using SPSS through descriptive statistical methods. So, overall, this chapter has outlined the research methodology employed in this study. It discussed the research design, data collection methods, study population, sample size, sampling technique, research instrumental development, measurement of variables, and data analysis procedures. The methodology provides a systematic and reliable framework for achieving research objectives and support the validity of the study findings.
This chapter analyzes the collected data using SPSS. Analysis included is first reliability testing or Cronbach alpha. Second one is descriptive statistic, means standard and deviations, and the third one is Pearson correlation and also multiple regression. The goal is to understand how financial attitude, subjective norms, financial knowledge, financial literacy, and principal attitude affect students' budgeting. Preliminary analysis. Reliability testing checked the consistency of questionnaire items. Most variables were acceptable to good. Financial attitude, financial knowledge, and literacy are above 0.70. Subjective norms is 0.829 and principal attitude is 0.653, which is questionable. Overall, Cronbach alpha is 0.750, confirming the questionnaire is reliable for analysis. For demographic profile, most respondents were 18 to 28 years old, which is 91.3%, with balanced gender distribution 58% male and 42% female. Ethnic majority was Bumiputra Sabah with 36%. Most were bachelor students, 78.7%, and mainly from business, finance, and economics, which is 63.3%. This confirms a relevant, educated sample of studying budgeting behavior.
For section 4.4, descriptive analysis, we have 5 independent variables for 1 dependent variable. We found high engagement in students' budgeting practices with a mean score of 4.28, and among independent variables, financial knowledge led with the highest mean of 4.36. Our reliability test confirmed data consistency with an overall Cronbach alpha of 0.50, indicating an acceptable level of internal reliability across all 25 items. Next, 4.5, validity and reliability test. Validity refers to how well a quantitative study measures what it aims to. There are different kinds of validity, like, for example, including content validity and face validity, and so many more. In simple terms, validity helps us check if our variables are measured correctly. So, for 4.2, reliability, as you can see in the table, our DV and IV, Cronbach alpha, are all acceptable except for subjective norms and principal attitude, which are good and questionable, but still usable. For multiple linear regression, the model expands 26.4% of the variance in budgeting behavior. We found that subjective norms, financial attitude, and principal attitude are all significant predictors. However, financial knowledge and literacy did not significantly influence behavior in this model. This suggests that social influence and personal mindset are the primary drivers behind how students manage their finance. The example can be seen in the table at my side. That's all.
For hypothesis testing, the multiple regressions analysis was used to determine whether the independent variables, financial attitude, subjective norms, financial knowledge, financial literacy, and principal attitude have a significant influence on students' budgeting practices. For the regressions result, significant predictors was the first one is financial attitude, P equals to 0.005. Positive attitude improves budgeting. Subjective norms on the second one is P equals to 0.002. Influence from family, friends, and lecturers. And the third one is principal attitude with P equals to 0.007. Responsibility and discipline. Non-significant was financial knowledge and literacy. Knowing concept alone doesn't ensure that budgeting. Result of the hypothesis. The hypothesis result is H1, H2, and H5 was accepted, H3 was rejected, and H4 accepted but weak. This confirms attitude and social influence are more important than knowledge for budgeting. In conclusion, Budgeting among students is mainly influenced by financial attitude, subjective norms, and principal attitude. Knowledge alone isn't enough. Behavior change, discipline, and social support are the most crucial one. This concludes the chapter 4. Thank you.
Now I will present chapter 5, which focuses on the discussion and conclusion of this study. In this chapter, the main findings from chapter 4 are interpreted and explained in relation to the research objectives. Overall, the results shows the students' attitude towards money played a significant role in their budgeting practices. Students who demonstrate positive financial attitudes tend to manage their money more carefully, while those with weaker attitudes often struggle with budgeting. This chapter helps us understand why these results occur and what they mean in a real life context. Moving on to the next discussion of findings. Based on the findings, financial attitude has a strong influence on students' budgeting behavior. Students who value careful spending, saving, and planning are more likely to track their expenses and avoid unnecessary spending. This suggests that budgeting is not only about how much money students have, but also about how they think and feel about money. The findings support previous research, which states that a positive financial attitude encourages responsible financial behavior. Therefore, developing the right mindset towards money is essential for effective budgeting among university students. In this slide, I explain about implication and limitations. In terms of implications, the findings highlight the importance of financial education at the university level. Universities can help students by organizing budgeting workshops, financial awareness programs, and money management seminars. These initiatives can help students improve their financial attitude and reduce financial stress. However, this study has several limitations. Firstly, the study only involved a limited group of students, so the findings may not represent all students. Secondly, the data was collected through self-reported questionnaires, which may not fully reflect actual financial behavior. These limitations should be considered when interpreting the results. Lastly, is about conclusion and recommendations. To conclude, this study confirms that financial attitude has a significant impact on students' budgeting practices. Students with positive attitudes are more likely to manage their finance effectively and make responsible financial decisions. Based on these findings, it is recommended that students develop positive financial habits early in their university life. Universities should also include basic financial education to help students strengthen their budgeting skills. For future research, larger samples and additional variables such as financial literacy or income level can be explored. Overall, this study provides valuable insights into improving students' financial well-being. Thank you.